Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Storytime Spotlight. For this episode, I am happy to announce we have a duo from California who knows how to make your feet move to the beat, none other than TRYPBOX. How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing great, man. Just, stoked to be on this call with you and, happy to talk about things.
Of course.
And looking forward to the show happening on November 6th and all that.
Oh, big excited for that. We're definitely going to dive into that question in a little bit, but to let everyone know and to kind of jump into the start of this, explain to us the start of you guys. Where did you get the name from?
Yeah. So basically, the name has to do with it's a play on the word music box, because a music box is basically like a symbol for music itself. And to me, and I'm sure for Patrick as well, music, I kind of perceive it as a sonic journey through the sound, and that journey encompasses all the emotions that somebody feels when listening to music. And so TRYPBOX is like basically a play on the word music box. Trip is would be a synonym to a journey that you take through sound when you listen to a song, and
like a musical trip.
Yeah, basically. And then so TRYPBOX is like basically the same thing as a music box, but it's like more about the trip that you take when you're listening to one of our songs. And the box is just more about the wordplay,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
It's like a music box that puts you through a musical trip.
Gotcha. That I think that sums it up a lot better. So it's definitely your own vocabulary, your own type of slang for what you're saying it is. And to be honest with you, you mentioned it's like a trip that you listen, like what type of trip, what type of mindset you're on when you're listening to your guys' music, and your guys' music puts you in that mindset. So, it definitely fits well that's your kind of explanation. You want people to experience something listening to your music. And yeah. I could say you will definitely experience something listening to your guys' music. So
for sure. And also to add on to that, we were thinking in the future, if we were to build on top of this whole music box idea, if we were to have a giant festival production type of stage, we would want to be we want there to be a giant life-size music box, and we just come outside
like Mario, you just boing, just
like a stage that just pushes us up.
No, that'd be sick. That'd be sick. That's goals. That's things to write down and manifest out into the world, that one day you get to actually get to that production. That point, that's a really great idea. So I know you guys are based out of LA and Orange County. So how did the duo come about exactly?
I'll start this one off. So fun fact, we actually we were both studying. We were foreign students in Shanghai, China. So that's how we met. Just because of our parents' work, that's how we were brought out there. So we were both in an international school in Shanghai, and I think it was ninth grade or eighth grade.
I came to I finished eighth grade in Brazil, but it's a different school calendar because it goes from January to December as opposed to August to May. So I had to redo the second semester of eighth grade. And so you were finishing eighth grade, and I came in. They actually put me on the second semester of ninth grade for the first day because they messed it up. And I just didn't understand what was going on. And then they put me on the right spot, which is, eighth grade. Pretty much.
So it was destiny playing its part by holding you back, so you guys could, cross paths in essence.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I also to add, back then, I'd say we had starting off when we first got to know each other, we had some pretty different tastes in electronic music. I remember showing Bruno the first time showing Bruno a song. I think it was like a Jack Beats track I think it was
Okay.
called One Love it was on the Ausla compilation. But it was like this deep house track, and you know, after a few minutes, I knew this guy didn't like deep house back then. But you
I
know,
don't even remember what song that was. I'm surprised he knew exactly where it was and who it was by.
I think I remember because I got offended that you didn't like the track.
Hey, I was just like a big gaming person. I would listen to like No Copyright Sounds, Monster Cat, all of those like YouTube labels.
Yeah.
That's where I would get my electronic music from.
There you go.
And,
Okay, not
yeah.
bad. So it's,
Yeah.
in essence, it's kind of like you guys didn't have the same taste, but then as things kind of evolved, you know, you guys kind of started to see each other's way in essence, which kind of brings me to my next question that I had for you guys. And that's, did you guys do solo projects before you guys were a duo, or were you guys always a duo?
Okay, I'll start this one off
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
But well, like, so back in Shanghai, we weren't really like a duo, but I think we like occasionally like messed around with music. Bruno was always like the better producer. Like when I met Bruno, he was already like into music production. I was still just like, I was getting into DJing. I was trying to go through that route, starting off with DJing. But yeah, like we were just, you know, kind of messing around with music on and off. You know, we did a collab one year. But yeah, like we didn't really start the TRYPBOX thing once until we came to California. So
Gotcha. Okay.
and that's another thing is like we found out that we were both going to colleges in California, and you know, we were like 1 hour apart, and you know, we were just like, hell yeah, you know, let's do something, let's start something together, you know. So,
Yeah, no, that's actually pretty, as far as the map goes, you guys went across the whole entire world, and you guys are still like within traveling distance of each other. So that's pretty sick. Not gonna lie, that's pretty sick. That's a bro ship if I've ever heard of one. Right there, that's the word I'm looking for, is a bro.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
You know
bro.
what I mean?
And it wasn't even planned either. Like, you know,
yeah,
we just happened to be in the same places at the same time.
sure. And
Yeah.
like that's here, another thing was I graduated in Shanghai. Bruno left in like what 10th, 11th grade.
No, I left at it was like 2017 at the end of 10th grade, because of like some family stuff. So we just went back to Brazil, and I finished high school there. And I like the university I'm going to now wasn't even like one that I was looking for. Like it was just one where my counselor was like, "Yeah, you should just apply to this one because," and it's the one that I ended up going to, and it happens to be out here, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah, we were together for a bit, then we were like away from each other for a bit, and then now we're back together again. So,
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Okay. So what are some pros and cons of being a duo?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it really depends on the two people specifically that make up the duo in question. For us specifically, I think that a pro is that we sort of complement each other in the areas that one is stronger and the other one is weaker. Like for example, I've always made music. I've always been better at production than Patrick, but I've never really known how to. Well, I've known certain tactics to try to put my music out there. You know, I've had the whole SoundCloud phase. I've managed to grow following on there, but nothing past the internet, and that's just not very motivating to like keep putting effort into. And so he did a bunch of networking and actually meeting people, and that's the part that I don't know how to do very well. So we're getting all these labeled, like even this interview that we're doing right now, like if it were still me doing music on my own, like nobody would hear the song that's coming out, you know. This interview wouldn't fucking exist, as a matter of fact, you know, because I was just really like making music and play some video games, and that was about it, you know. I couldn't really get bothered to do much.
There you go. Well, you definitely, if you would like to have things go to the next level, you definitely need a network. That's the number one thing that I can say is going to get you further and further and further instead of like a standstill with your tire and like
That's where he
mud
comes in.
type stuff. Oh, absolutely,
Yes,
absolutely. So it's great though. It's great that you guys both complement each other in that sense. So you're saying that you started producing around 8th grade, 9th grade, around that time, correct, Bruno?
Like that's where I picked up more of like a niche production, like kind of going towards electronic music. Because before then, like I remember when I was 12, I would find these like random DAWs that were free online, and I would just like download and play around with them, you know, like mess around with loops.
making trap beats.
Yeah, or like GarageBand even, you know, like I remember my parents got a Mac at some point, and I'd like playing on GarageBand. Like I mean, most kids, not, I assume the majority of the kids who've had a Mac at home have played around with GarageBand, you know?
Yeah, that was definitely my first DAW I ever started messing around with. So that's pretty funny that you
Yeah.
brought that up. So what got you into learning how to produce music?
I think like I just remember the first few times that I heard an electronic music like song, I was just like, there was something about it that hit different. And I guess like going from the very beginning where I was like playing around with the free software, like I realized that I enjoy doing that. Like I also enjoy doing like graphic design and stuff. That's just what I would do as like a 13-year-old in like middle school. I would just do these things for fun. And then when I moved to China, the first friend that I got close with, who was actually the person who introduced me to Patrick, he did like some DJ stuff, some music production stuff, and then I was like, oh, I could get into this, you know. I was just kind of like, all right, my friend is doing it, I'm gonna do it too, you know. And I just like cracked FL Studio 11 or something like that. It was like the really old one, and I was just like, all right, I can do this, you know. And then I just started doing it, watching YouTube videos and stuff, learning how to play around with it.
Yeah. And then I say for me, you know, I got into DJing first, and then I think eventually it was just simply I wanted to put down ideas that I had in my head, you know, into a DAW, and you know, try to you know, have that work in my sets basically. You know, at the beginning it was just like, you know, playing around, messing around, and
100%.
having fun with it, you know. So,
100%. 100%.
yeah.
Absolutely agree. Well, with the sound that you guys are establishing as your sound, who or what is the inspiration behind it?
So a lot of inspirations. So like for me, when I got into electronic music, it was actually Skrillex. So I gotta say Skrillex is an inspiration, even though like it doesn't directly translate to how our music sounds. But
yeah,
like middle school me, I was bangerang just all day, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, other than that, like, and then I guess in the house realm, like Chami was one. I was really into, like, when Future House blew up, I was really into Oliver Heldens. And then Bass House, you know, Abstract was really dope. Jaws blowing up back then. And then nowadays, like, you know, I'd say another inspiration for us is like maybe Blue Claire, you know.
absolutely.
He's been really popping off.
That's definitely out of all these artists that I could kind of like. There's really, obviously, you know, we don't want to ever put someone under one type of genre, but if I could say like whatever genre Blue Claire is, that's like the type of sub genres I would kind of classify you guys as, because like it could be a super filzy track or it could just be like a house heater, and it's just like so energetic, baseline driven. But what I really like about you guys is your piano stabs that you guys use. You guys use like this, like, I don't even know if it's a piano stab, but like most music is like this, like I don't even know how to explain it. You guys know what I'm talking about. I said piano stab, you know what I'm talking about. So you guys are definitely solidifying that sound. So these artists that you're naming, it's pretty apparent that these are the people that you're looking up to, like your idols and stuff. So what are some plugins producers should check out?
Plugins.
I think like there's this one that's been getting very popular recently, and it's free. It's called Fresh Air. It's like it's basically made for enhancing the high end in your song, but like it doesn't. In theory, it just sounds like boosting the high end, but like it doesn't sound like you're simply EQing the high end up. He almost he's gonna drop that print. Wait, give me 1 second.
Okay. So all right, what's another one, Patrick?
I'd say like a lot of the plugins we use are pretty like common amongst producers. I say we don't use a lot of like new plugins, you know. So like
You guys are mainly like, what'd you get? Yeah, as I say, do you guys consider yourself using more of Serum, or would you say you consider using more of Massive?
Like all of those stabs that you hear, bro, all the sounds that are like TRYPBOX style sounds, they're all made in Serum. Like
Yeah.
That's just.
I was wondering. I was wondering if it was that, or if it was like stacked with like some Ozone synthesizer. Like I was just like trying to like,
no,
as like a producer, you're sitting in this mindset. You're like, how the fuck did you make this? Because I'm thinking like grand piano, like like so clean, and so I'm just like,
it's always, bro. Like the trifecta of the TRYPBOX sound is Serum synths, some sort of like sample, like whether it's like a trumpet or a piano or a string or something like that, or a vocal, and damn, what was the last one? Oh, yeah, like a dynamic delay or something, like a rhythmic delay,
and some popping drums.
Some
great
drums. Yeah. I mean, there's all the rest, you know. But that's like the three main things.
Okay, yeah, no, definitely like solidifying the sound for your guys' self. So going on to the point of having your own sound, it comes out to just recently you guys released a track on StoryTime Records, right? And the song is called Trust You. And I want to know, what was the most memorable moment for you guys making this song? Because I feel like the reason why I'm asking this, just to kind of start it off, like in essence, the reason why I'm asking this is because like, I know as a producer, I listen to my music over and over and over and over and over. And I like get this mindset, like this zone, what this music is making me feel. Your guys' music is like upbeat, feelsy, funky. It's like, I feel like you can't just be like a depressed person just making music like that. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like you have to be in a certain type of mood, like, you know? So like what is the memorable moment? What was the mood to get to this song? Like, give us some insight.
I got one thing to say.
No, yeah, you go ahead.
I'd say like kind of this track has like a long story to it. It's there were like many different versions to the track, but I'd say like maybe like the overall whole story to the track is kind of like the memorable moment, because like it initially started off as a collab with some of Bruno's friends in Brazil. And then like we were kind of just messing around with it. We kind of sat on the track for a bit, and then eventually like the people that we were collaborating with, they decided to like switch up their genre a bit, right? Yeah. And then like we were just like, oh, okay, well this is our own track now, and it was a total different vibe before than what it is now. So I mean, and then Bruno had more time with it because he was like working on it in Brazil with the collaborators at the beginning.
I mean, like the vocal wasn't even there for like the first few versions. Like this whole thing with these Brazilian producers, like it goes back to like 2018. You know, like this song like from the very first version. You know, it's like a long time, but from the current version or like the current sound of this track, I remember that like the whole production for me is kind of like a blur. Like I don't remember any specific moments.
Like, it is a blur. That's funny.
Yeah, bro. I mean, like I don't remember like specifically doing anything except for this one moment where I found the main sound that the track starts with, the xylophone sort of chords. When I heard that sound in Omnisphere, which I barely use because it's such a heavy plugin, and I was in Brazil on my shitty laptop. Like I cannot use Omnisphere on that, you know. And I just heard that xylophone, and I was like, okay. And then I put it with the chords, put it in a specific like rhythm, and then when I heard that, I was like, all right, this is it. Like this clicked instantly, you know. And then from there, it was just like easy to just like come up with the rest, you know.
Okay, not bad, not bad. So this track has traveled. Let's just say that this track has traveled.
Yes.
So I understand that you guys produce. You guys at this point have traveled from one end of the world to the other end of the world. What are some things you guys are doing when you're not producing?
You want me to start off first?
Sure.
Okay, so I guess when I'm not producing, like, obviously I'm just doing schoolwork. I'm with my family a lot as well. I'm currently living with my family in Orange County. So yeah, a lot of family time. What else? I'll play games sometimes too. Like we like playing Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I keep things pretty simple, man. Like I'll go for walks, I'll go for runs. You know, in Orange County, things are pretty spread out, so there's a lot of like nature around the area. So 5 minutes away from my house, there's just like giant trail and a lot of grass, a lot of green. So I go on some walks, some runs sometime. Okay. That's all I can think of right now, honestly.
What about you, Bruno? What about you?
Same sort of setup. Like I like playing video games, you know. We play a lot together. Although I try not to do that too much because it's like, let's face it, it's not a very productive thing to do, you know, like, and it takes a lot of time. So, but while if I want to play video games, but I don't want to play video games, you know, like I usually just go skateboarding, which is like, I find it really fun. It's like, it's become a very big passion for me, but it's also a very good way to exercise. So if I have to like get moving, you know, and I'm just too lazy to go for a run, I just go skating, you know, and like it usually is much more demanding physically than just going for a run or like hitting the gym, because well, people who skate will know that it's just very demanding of your legs all the time. Like you need to be like on top of it, otherwise you're just gonna like fumble, you know, and just
Yeah, you're
fall.
not lying. Yeah, you're not lying. You're not lying. Now, in the beginning of this episode, we did bring up that on November 6th, we are doing our third label showcase in San Diego at Avenue. We're bringing you boys out. We got Burn, Chard, Loesch, myself, and a local DJ contest opener. I'm excited to have you guys debut all this music that you've been holding on to, been releasing. So November 6th, what should we expect from your guys' headlining show at Avenue for the Storytime Records Takeover?
Okay. I think you're gonna expect a lot of cool stuff. But there's gonna be vibes, some good vibes. Like, you know, for sure we're gonna have some melodic moments. But we're also gonna go hype. We're gonna have that high energy as well. I guess that's also just kind of our sound. We like to have that high energy, but we also we like to go hard sometimes, but we like to go melodic hard, you know.
Yeah.
So expect a lot of cool synths on the drops. Heavy drums.
You're gonna have some pyrotechnic stuff going on. Lots of smoke.
There's gonna be a disco ball and there's gonna be lasers, so that's always a good time when we're partying. So I'm super excited to bring you guys out to San Diego, hang out with some of the Storytime family, and we're just gonna have a fun time, get a memorable night and another one down for the books. So wrapping up things, is there anything else you guys would like to promote, or anyone you'd like to give a shout out to?
Okay. Well, for first things first, we do have a track coming out in November. There's no specific date for it yet, but it's probably will be in the second half of the month. It's bass housey. It goes hard, but it's also funky. It's funky. It's got the TRYPBOX funk to it. So yeah, yeah. Prepare your ears.
Okay.
And then other than that, I guess shout out to our manager Eric. You know, he's been great, been pulling a lot of strings for us. And I guess also shout out to like our homies on that have signed their tracks to StoryTime Records. You know, like Burn, Foch, Dago, Delinquent.
You could think of,
You,
I'm sure there's more.
Matt.
Thank you. I'm sure there's more. I'm sure there's more. I appreciate
there's like one or two more in there that can't name them right now. But
I'm pretty sure
They're the most
Fox.
special
I'm pretty
ones.
sure Price.
The two that are left unnamed.
Price for sure, and Fox.
All right, never
Can't believe
mind.
I forgot Fox. Yeah, Price and Fox. They
Bruno, what are you trying to say, Bruno? Get it out. What are you trying to say?
Hey, I was gonna say the two that were left unnamed were the special ones, but I guess not. So just scratch that.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I really do appreciate you taking the time to give us the insight on you guys, where the music comes from, and kind of give us an insight into your life. Everyone watching, November 6th, the boys are headlining at Avenue. It will be in our Instagram, Twitter, ticket link in bio. Make sure you get those tickets. Last one we did there sold out. I expect the same for this event. So once again, we have TRYPBOX here with the Storytime Spotlight. My name is Matt Campbell. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Peace.